What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Will Motivation, back again with another video. And today in this video we're talking about why you should consider investing in real estate now. So we are in 2025 going into 2026, the fall of 2025. So I'm going to give you some hints and tips on investing in real estate now and how you can do that, even if that does not mean right now buying a property. Part of the investment process is also doing your research and getting ready to buy property. So one of the things that's going on now, and I'm gonna just run straight off the dome, straight down a list of things that in my experience have me ready and preparing for buying more real estate now towards the end of 2025, going into 2026. Run right down the list. What's going on? One of the biggest things that affects the price of real estate is the interest rate that is charged by a bank, because most people, when they buy real estate in the United States, they get a mortgage. They get a loan from a bank, and then they pay that mortgage like 20 to 30 years, sometimes 15 years, sometimes even faster. But the interest rates affect what's going on as far as buyers for real estate. When the interest rates are higher, usually there's less activity and transactions going on, so less buying and selling of real estate when the interest rates are higher. When the interest rates get lower, there's usually more people that want to buy real estate. So if you're an investor like myself, when those interest rates get lower, usually the prices of the real estate gets higher, and you can start to flip properties, sell properties, and make some money, selling properties as a real estate investor. If you are a buyer, you're a real estate investor, and you want to invest in real estate, you want to keep an eye on the interest rates, because as they get lower, that increases, your buying power, because your mortgage will be lower, and you may be able to afford more real estate, whether that's one property, afford like a bigger property or a more expensive property because the mortgage is lower, or you might be able to afford to buy several properties at low interest rates. So the lesson in that is keep an eye on the interest rate. So a really good interest rate, for example, like I have my primary residence, I have a loan on that, and the interest rate is 3%. That is a super good interest rate for a mortgage. It's so good that I've had the goal to pay off all of my real estate. Right now I own about 20, maybe 22 properties, something like that. I've had a goal to pay them all off. But the interest rate is so good on my primary residence at 3% that it doesn't make sense for me to pay that one off, at least not first. So my strategy for paying off real estate is to pay off, like, let's say you got a mortgage on several different properties. You got mortgages on several different properties. Or you have, this applies to all credit. You might have a loan, several different, like credit card loans, student loans, mortgage loans, or whatever different loans you have. My strategy has always been to pay off the highest interest rate loans first, because basically if you take the total amount of money that you have out that you owe, you want to get rid of the money that's costing you the most to have a loan on. So I pay off the most expensive mortgage rates or interest rates first, no matter what they are, credit card or whatever. I pay those off first. But with that 3% loan on my primary mortgage, it's so low that I'm not in any rush to pay that off. And that'll be the last one I probably pay off if I do decide to pay it off. So interest rates affect buying power. Interest rates affect the market. Interest rates affect the price of homes, because the interest rates are really low, more activity and demand will happen, and the prices of homes will go up. So right now, interest rates are still kind of high at that 6%-ish rate, 7% some cases, maybe 5% in some cases, but it's still kind of high, and activity has been slow, which means you can likely get some good deals on real estate right now. So for example, I'm selling a flip property we did in Columbus, Ohio. Right now we're in Florida, just purchased a home down here in Florida as an investment property that we're going to use and enjoy. We're out here in the fire pit area of the home talking to you guys with the sunset over there. But with the activity the way it is, right now could be a good time to find an investment property because you can probably negotiate better and you don't have like what's called like pricing wars or when you're bidding wars on houses. That's because there's a high demand for a house, so there's a bidding war, so the price of the house can go up. Whereas right now the interest rates are so high, there's not a whole lot of bidding wars going on in most markets. There might still be some going on some places. So that means it can be a good time for you to find a deal. So probably the next question you're asking me is, well, how do I find a deal? Believe it or not, my last really good flip, I found it on Zillow. Like there's no secret. Like I used to use like most of my rental properties in Ohio, I used to use HUD Home Store. You can still go on HUDHomestore.com and find repossessed HUD homes. But like HUD, it's not so much a secret anymore because people start talking about it and start buying it, and regular people start using it more and more, and less investors. So there's not a whole lot of deals on HUD Home Store anymore like there used to be. There might be in the future though, so you gotta keep an eye on that. But you can just go on sites like Zillow.com, Realtor.com, sites like that, and you can just start shopping like you would shop on Amazon and start looking at real estate. So my last deal that I got was actually also here in Florida. It was a piece of land. How did I find that piece of land? It was really simple. I went on Zillow. I said I want a land to be about an acre. So I put the parameter in that I want a piece of real estate that's an acre. I put the zip code in where I wanted the real estate, which was Palm Bay, Florida. Put that in there and said, show me everything for sale in Palm Bay, Florida. Sorry to my camera woman, she's recording us now. The bugs probably start coming out when the sun goes down in Florida. The bugs come out. But anyway, I put what I wanted in Zillow, and I just start looking, and I just start shopping for a good deal. Comparing, I'm in the same zip code, looking at 1 to 2 acres of land, and it might have been 1 to 3 acres of land, and I'm just looking at prices. So I kept looking. Now sometimes you don't find stuff on the day one. It took me probably months before I found what I thought was a deal because I was getting familiar with the prices of land in this area. Once I got familiar with the prices of land in that area, like, okay, most of the prices are like between 150 to 200,000. So I'm looking for that 150, and I'm looking at raw land, and then I'm looking at locations. Where is it located? Is it close to fast food? Is it close to businesses? Is it close to residential? I'm analyzing it, and I'm shopping just like you would shop on Amazon for whatever. If you're looking for a pair of shoes, you put in the parameters, the size of shoe, the brand of shoe, or whatever you want, the type of shoe, dress shoe, tennis shoe, and you start looking on Amazon and you start looking for the deal that you want. Same thing I did with the real estate on Zillow. So I settled on a piece of land that was right in a little neighborhood with land the same size on the same street that was going for $180,000, and they were selling theirs for $89,000. I did my due diligence. I figured out I had to find out the reason they were selling. Had to find out make sure there was no flood zones and all that kind of stuff. Put an offer in on the property. I bought it for $85,000. I then turned around less than a year later, put it for sale, and I sold it for $160,000. Okay. That's a deal that I found as an investor shopping on Zillow. So for that question, when you ask me how do you find deals right now, you go shopping on basic sites like Zillow or Realtor.com or whatever other sites out there that can show you the type of real estate you would like to invest in. So that's sort of the how, because I know I'm going to get that question on the how. But I'm talking about the reasons why you might want to invest now. Here's another reason. The interest rates, sometimes you can purchase a home and get a mortgage on it, and let's say the interest rates drop dramatically, and you're like, oh dang, I bought this house when the interest rate was 6%, but now the interest rates are 4% or 3%. Well, that can make a big difference on what you pay every month for your mortgage. But guess what? You can refinance that loan and get your payment lower based on that new interest rate when the interest rates drop. So sometimes you pick up a property when the interest rates are higher and you can get a really good deal, and then you can refinance it if you're holding it and get a better rate. So now's a great time to look for deals, and I wanted to make sure to share this message with somebody out there that's thinking about investing in real estate. My name is Will Motivation. I also run a car channel called Will Motivation as well. This is Real Estate 101, and I like to share my knowledge with you guys for free on this channel. But of course, a lot of people have asked me if I have an online course, and I teach how to invest in real estate. I do have an online course. You can get to it by going to learn.willmotivation.com, and you can feel free to take the course. Anybody that takes the course, I support you by answering your questions. You can email those questions to me, and I will prioritize getting answers for you as you take the course. But that course has everything in it that I've ever learned on how to invest in real estate. But you're always free to come to Real Estate 101 if you don't want to take the course, and just consume the content that I'm putting up here for free. Tips and advice on how to invest in real estate. And you also might see some really cool houses or really cool cars that I like to put on the channel just for fun as well. So stay tuned.